What is going on at Louis Vuitton? And let me tell you, it's not just the Murakami collection. Let's get into it. I know. There have been a ton of people that have already discussed the mess that was the launch of the Louis Vuitton 20th anniversary collection with Takashi Murakami. I know. And to be honest, I didn't know if I wanted to make a video like this until a couple of days ago when I just felt like, okay, we need to address this. But before I tell you what brought me here, let's talk about the issues with this launch. First of all, for the first time that I know of personally, there was a tiered system that was put in place when it came to ordering bags. The rumors were, and I think they were accurate, but allegedly, the first people who had access to the collection were people who spent about $100,000 in a year. So I mean, regardless whether that number is exact, it was the big spenders that got first access to it. Then it was a second tier of people who spent some money, and then ultimately the general public could purchase from this collection online or at the boutiques. I don't know if this is true. I've heard rumors. If you are someone that this happened to, please let me know in the comment section below. But again, allegedly, the rumor is that some people who pre-ordered the item, so they paid for their item before the launch, never got their items. So I can't imagine what it's like for someone who, let's say, purchased a handbag, who pre-ordered a handbag, paid for it in full before the launch date. The launch date comes, you don't have your bag, you don't know when you're getting your bag. There is a bag available either online or at your local boutique, but because you've already paid for it, because you've pre-ordered, you didn't buy that bag. And then you get the email saying, actually, the order is canceled, you're not getting that bag, and you could have gotten it in person. Like, if that's true, if that happened, I cannot imagine how upsetting that would be. Personally, I was sent the US catalog so that I could look through all the pieces, make a selection of all the pieces that I wanted and was ready to buy, and then send it back to the sales associate so that they knew what I wanted. And what I thought would happen is that eventually at some point before the launch, I was gonna be given a link to pay for those items, to pre-order them. That never happened. I selected my pieces, made it known to a sales associate. These are the pieces that I want. These are the pieces that I'm ready to purchase. There's no thinking. These are the ones that I'm ready to submit my credit card information for, but that never happened. So I had to wait for launch date and reach out to sales associates and go to the website. Obviously, that's another issue. The website did not work. The day of the launch, I would see things that were available. I would add them to cart, and when I would go to my cart to check out, they were gone. So that was another huge issue that happened, at least here in the United States. So ultimately, the way that I got the first items that I wanted from this collection is by going to the pop-up in New York City, going there in person, and that is where I purchased my sneakers. The packaging was also an issue. Now, there were actually two issues when it came to the packaging. Number one, a lot of people were upset because as part of the brand's PR, they sent pieces from this collection to influencers in special packaging. And so when these influencers opened up their free Louis Vuitton bags in this beautiful branded paper wrapping and branded boxes and branded beautiful dust bags, people were expecting to also be able to have access to that special packaging. Now, that wasn't the case. Those were pieces that were only sent to influencers. And as far as I know, not even big spenders got that special packaging, the special box, the special dust bags. That was only for PR purposes. And so people were very upset that because they saw them opening these items up in that packaging, that they thought they would also be able to get that packaging. That wasn't the case. For me, personally, that wasn't a huge deal because I've seen many brands do that. Maybe it was the brand issue and the clientele. There was a, gap there that people would expect to see that same packaging being sold with their pieces versus something that's very clearly PR and just for influencers and just for building hype and just for media consumption and for us to look at it and be like, oh my God, that's so cool. But I guess poppy vending machines, for example, and Ivy Park closets and trunks and things like that are a little too outlandish that you would automatically know that's not for everybody, versus special packaging, which could be for anybody spending, especially for like the higher tiered products.
I think it's easy to understand why some thought this packaging would be available to people making purchases from this collection. Louis Vuitton has done special packaging in the past. For example, some items from the original Murakami cerise or cherry collection came in red dust bags. Other brands like Hermes are also known to pack their more special pieces in different packaging. packaging. So it's understandable why people were confused or felt misled by these PR packages. I think I was able to quickly decipher that all of this special packaging was just for these marketing campaigns because I'm very familiar with special PR packages, especially in the beauty industry. I also know that when you're paying around $10,000 for a Speedy P9, the most you're getting is an embroidered dust bag that matches the color of the bag. And all of the handbags that I personally saw unboxed by influencers were less than $4,000. And finally, there's this. This was the image on the LV website that shows the packaging for this collection, and it doesn't include the branded box or dust bags with the leather tags. I also wanted to note that this is the current image displayed for the packaging, and it says, for all online purchases, the pieces from this collection are wrapped in vibrant, colorful packaging, accompanied by a sheet of stickers featuring Takashi Murakami's playful characters, available while stocks last. But again, I understand why people thought the special box and dust bag would be available to paying customers, especially those paying for some of the most expensive pieces. And of course, there's also the possibility that the very big spenders who had first access to this collection may have actually received this special packaging, but because they're not on social media, we may not know about it. If that's the case, if any of you out there know of anyone who did receive special packaging, the same packaging that influencers got, but they're just not online, please let me know in the comment section below. I also want to add that regardless of whether you think it's fair or not, if you care or don't, if you disagree with the decision that the brand made to gift influencers these bags in special packaging that isn't available to their customers, it should go without saying, but this was a choice that was made by the brand, and these influencers should not be getting any hate for it or any sort of negativity directed at them because it's not their fault. It wasn't their decision. And if we're all completely honest, we would all welcome a free bag by the brand in whatever packaging they wanted to give us. So again, whether you agree with the decision or not, please don't send any hate their way.
So I do understand why people would be confused or think that they would have access to that. I understand it, but personally, I wasn't upset by it. But I know that it did upset a lot of people. The other issue with packaging was just that there wasn't enough packaging for all of the products being sold. And that, I really don't understand it. Because it seems like the packaging went right away. I mean, I went to the pop-up a number of times, but by the second time that I went, which was all within the first couple of weeks of the pop-up being open, the bags were already gone. The first time I went to the New York City pop-up was the Monday after the New Year when I went in person and I bought my sneakers and I was able to get a shopping bag. But then I went back, I think the following week, and the shopping bags were gone. I was given my products in regular orange Louis Vuitton bags. I did get ribbon and I did get tags, but no wrapping paper. And again, the shopping bags were gone. From my understanding, some boutiques didn't even get special packaging. So you went to the boutique and it didn't matter if it was like one of the first days after the launch, you got regular LV packaging. And again, like, I just don't understand that because you know how many products you're producing. And I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but I, again, understand people being upset at that. This is a special collection. These are special pieces. You're paying a lot of money regardless of whether it's an SLG. You're paying a lot of money for that SLG. I can guarantee you that. And these are luxury brands, so you're used to getting a luxurious treatment from when you purchase. So again, totally understand that. Yeah, I just don't understand how they ran out of wrapping paper so fast, and the tags and the ribbon and the shopping bags, and how some stores didn't even get any of it. But one of the major issues, and my heart goes out to the sales associates because there was major lack of communication internally, never mind externally, what we were hearing from people online and from sales associates versus what staff, sales associate were hearing from their managers and above. They were not being communicated to. So they would only tell us what they were told, and what they were told wasn't very much. And so I know that there were people frustrated, and I really hope that people didn't air out their frustrations with a sales associate because it's not their fault that they're not getting good communication. They're not being told things. But at one point when I did go to a sales associate, they were like, I'm not saying anything because I don't know anything and I don't want to say something and then have people say, but you said this, but you told me that, you said there was going to be a restock, you said that. So he's like, I'm not saying anything. I can help you with what you want right now. I can tell you what's going on here now, but that's it. And I totally understood that. I laughed with him. I was like, I get it. I can only imagine the texts that they were getting. People frustrated and upset about things that happen, and it's not their fault. but again, they weren't communicated to. And I feel like that's a major issue that they need to fix right away. You know, it's one thing to say, I don't know how much we'll have in stock. That's sort of a normal thing. I don't know how much we'll have if things will be restocked. They didn't even know whether some things were online exclusives because they didn't see it at their store. They didn't know how you can get it. The website wasn't functioning right, not only when at checkout, but it would tell you that something was available at a certain store, and then you would go to the store and it wasn't, and it's not true. And even to this day, I was talking to a sales associate who on his phone, it said one available, but when he went to check, it wasn't available. And he would say, yeah, some of these things say that it's available, but it's not true. They're not here. So they need to figure out that whole system and communication, because wow. And the stock issue even affected the pop-ups. The pop-up supposedly was supposed to be open for several weeks. And I think it's even reported online. If you look at articles, the reporter saying it'll be available, it'll be open to so-and-so date. It closed early. It shut down very early. It shut down after a couple of weeks because they didn't have any stock. And so I get that, having to wait in line to go into a place and then there's nothing there. Like having the vending machine be there, but they don't have anything to sell, so you can't get to the vending machine because you need to buy something in order to get a token for the vending machine. So I get them, rather than dealing with all that, just shutting down. But again, I just don't understand the major stock issues that happened. And then there are all these random drops that happen. So suddenly something will pop up on the website, although I didn't really see that. I've heard that happen, but I will get a sales associate text me and say, oh, I just got this, or we just got a couple of pieces. Are you interested in any of these? I'm just like, can we get on a schedule? Can we get a little more organized about this? Because these random, like, oh, I have this. This just came in. Now, don't get me wrong. Text me. I would rather be told that this was available and for me to say, oh, no, thanks, I'm not interested in that, rather than not be told and then possibly miss out on something. But just like these random restocks of certain things in a very limited number. And now Meredith, I will link to her channel. She just mentioned that there's going to be 2 restocks, one in March and one in May. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't know how many were made, how many pieces are being made at the moment. I just don't understand it. And how there's going to be now 2 restocks and how those restarts are going to work. So let me just mention that I have ordered, I don't even know what the correct term would be, but I have paid for a Nano Speedy. I've paid for it. I have no idea when it's going to come, if it's going to come, but my sales associate reached out to me and said, I can place an order for you. Here's the link, and put in your order right now if you still want it. So I immediately put in the order. I don't know how long it's going to take. They told me, my sales associate said it would take several weeks, but I don't even know if that's going to be fulfilled, to be honest with you. But I paid for it, and hopefully, because I've already paid for it, when a restock happens, people who've already paid for the pieces, I think in my mind, should get those pieces first because we've already paid for it before it goes to boutiques or online or, is available for just the general public. People who've already paid for those pieces should be getting those pieces. Now, I was losing hope until I saw Meredith's video. So that's the only thing that's keeping me hopeful, is that because Meredith says that there's going to be 2 restocks, then I feel like, okay, there's a possibility that I will be getting my bag. But let me tell you why I lost hope for a while and what finally motivated me to make this video. Do y'all remember the Louis Vuitton, Pharrell, and Timberland collaboration boots? Well, as you saw, I purchased some boots from that collection. When I did that unboxing video and I tried on the boots, I came to realize that they were just way too big for me. And in that video, I say, should I keep them anyway? Because I feel like I want this in my collection. I feel like I will make it work if I have to, but hopefully I'll be able to exchange it. Well, there was a restock online. When I saw that they were available online, I definitely called and said, I see that size 36, the smallest size, was available again on the website. Can I do an exchange? And they were like, yeah, you can do an exchange, no problem. It will probably take several weeks for it to happen, for it to be fulfilled, but we can do it. Just bring back the boots. Here's your, your form, whatever. So I did the thing. I dropped off the boots and I waited and I waited and I waited. You guys, it's been over 3 months. And I hadn't heard anything. And I started calling me like, do you have an update? No, I can just see that it's pending. I don't have an update. We'll let you know. And then finally last week I got the email saying that my order was canceled because they were unable to fulfill my order. So that's almost 4 months of me having paid for these boots, and that's it. I'm never gonna own them. So I've come to terms with it. I mean, it's been so long that I'm just over it. I was contemplating canceling that order because it'd been so long anyway, but they just made the decision for me, and that's fine. But can you imagine if they were only just a little bit bigger than what I wanted, than what fit my foot, and because they said that I could do an exchange, no problem, I returned them, and now I would be out of those boots and they would have been fine on me. Can you imagine? Like, oh, that would have been so upsetting. Thankfully, like I said, they were huge on me, so there was no way that I could make that work. I was in my mind trying to talk myself into imagining how many pairs of socks it would take for me to wear for them to fit okay on me, but it just wasn't gonna happen. So like I said, I'm over it, but that was one of the reasons why I was losing hope on my Nano Speedy, because I paid for it. The order is pending. I have no updates, and no communication whatsoever. I don't know anything directly from Louis Vuitton to me saying this order will be fulfilled. We're having a restock on a certain day, or we are making it right now. Like, there's no communication. So I don't know. Again, because Meredith says that there are going to be 2 more restocks, I'm hopeful that in some moment between the restocks, after the restocks, before the restocks, I will get my bag, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. I mean, I was even recently told by a sales associate, not one of the ones that I've worked with, just someone that I met at the store asking questions to while I was there, but someone was like, oh, you just have to pay for it and then forget that you did it. And that was my mindset before, like, I'm just gonna pay for it and forget about it, and when it comes, and it's gonna be great, and it'll be like a little surprise. But now I'm just like, no, 4 months of having like $3,000 just gone for 4 months. I don't know if I'm okay with that anymore. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. By the way, if you're new here, welcome, bienvenidos. My name is Jessica Flores, and I'm a lifestyle creator. I create content about fashion, beauty, DIY projects, luxury, family travel, and more. So if any of those topics interest you, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you can set your notifications on for all. I make new videos every week, but I don't have a set schedule. So if you have your notifications on, you won't miss a thing. Okay, so my personal changes, what I would do to like help this situation and fix it. Number 1 is that I would set aside a certain amount or percentage of whatever stock you've already ordered, you already planned to make. Again, I'm saying you, like Louis is listening to me, Louis himself. But what I would do differently is set aside a certain amount or percentage of the stock that is going to be produced for pre-orders. And so that way, whoever pre-ordered gets their items, period. And then the rest is held back until launch day to be put on the website and to be, shipped to different stores and different locations. But that to me is like a no-brainer. I just don't understand how someone can pre-order something before launch date and not get their pieces. If that, allegedly is happening, I just don't understand how that happens, why that happens. Again, they need to work on their communication, period. Communication internally, communication externally to clients, again, who are paying lots of money for these pieces. There just needs to be better communication, just to also help us understand what's happening so that we're not bugging sales associates or going online and possibly spreading misinformation. If they would just explain a little bit, like, don't show us all the secrets, don't show us what's happening in your factories or workshops or whatever, but just like if they would have a little more communication about what's happening, what's the process like, so that we better understand as consumers, as clients, so that we know what to expect, we're not disappointed in the end, we understand what's happening. Yeah, I don't know. Now here is a theory that I have. I feel like there was a lot of hype around the denim collection that happened, a year ago now, a little over a year ago now, but some of those pieces I know did not sell out right away or didn't sell out, period. They just kind of disappeared off the website. I wonder if they expected that collection to be much more successful than it was, and it's caused them to be a little more cautious with these other collections so that they're not producing what they would have normally produced, out of fear that they're gonna have losses. I wonder if that's a thing. I feel like, don't you feel that way? I feel like the denim collection, I have 2 of the bags here. This is the Sunset, and I have the backpack. I feel like there was a lot of hype around this collection. I know I was super excited about it, but then ultimately, I know that some pieces didn't sell as well or as fast as maybe the brand would like, and I feel like maybe that's why they've been hesitant and didn't order a lot, because there was so much hype. But this one, I knew that it was going to be a huge hit because so many people love this collection, especially from my generation. And I could have told you that, you know? I feel like all of us could have told them that this is going to be huge, especially the SLGs. Yeah, I don't understand how they didn't make enough or what their production schedule looked like. I just don't get it. I wonder if we'll ever know. All right, those are all my thoughts on this collection. Let me know your thoughts. I know that people are sort of beating this horse to death, but is that the phrase? I don't know. I get my American phrases confused. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the collection. If you were able to get anything, have you heard anything on your end from your local sales associate, or if you have any insider information, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube. And if you did enjoy this video, you might want to check out this one. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned.